Show you these 3 tricks to make your blues solos absolutely amazing and spice them up. And I'm going to throw a bonus one there at the end, so stay till the end to get that 4th one. Please hit subscribe and the bell notification to get more videos about how to make your guitar playing that much better. I've been helping hundreds of guitar players over the last 20 years break past that really boring, sort of stale pentatonic plateau and really bridge the gap between their creative ideas and what they're able to play. Now, let's get into the first trick is just over our 1 chord, right? If I'm here in my A blues, I've got my 1 chord, my A7. The interesting thing is that if I'm playing my blues, my minor pentatonic or my minor blues scale that has a flat 3 in it, and the chord, the 7 chord, has a major 3rd in it, right? So we're sort of playing this minor against a major 3rd, which gives us a very bluesy sound. So the first thing that I want to do is let's add the minor and major 3rd together, right? And see if you like this sort of sound. So if I have my 1 chord, if I have, right, I'm going to play that, the 5th fret of my G string will be my flat 3, my minor 3rd, and I'm just going to hammer on to the major 3rd, bringing it up a half step, and then resolve it to my root note, the 7th fret of my D string. Now, I can just do a little quick run up. So I'm starting here, again, in my A blues. I'm starting on the 7th fret of my A string, right? And I'm just running up the pentatonic, 7, D string, 5, 7, and then when I get to the G string, 5, hammer on 6, and then resolve 7 of the D. Cool. Another little trick that I really like is bringing out the tritone of that 7 chord. So when I get to that major 3rd, hitting that flat 7, the 5th fret of the D instead of the 7th fret, or a little variation of that, hitting the root note, 7th fret of the D, and sliding it down to the 5th fret to the flat 7, and then even hitting the root note up there on that E string. Right. A really cool way to really bring out some of the tension in the blues. So we are now going to be messing with that major 3rd and that minor 3rd. Now I'm just putting it at the end of my lick, or with the flat 7 to get that tritone sound, or my root note down to my flat 7, and then even my root note up there on that low E. Mess around with that, see how you like it. What is really cool is when we add that major 3rd in there, that means I now have a flat 3, a natural 3rd, a major 3rd, a 4, a sharp 4 is my blues note, and my 5. Right, so that is a lot of chromatic in there that I can mess with. Now, if I want to think of the same idea when I go to my 4 chord, right, this D7. First, if I play the major 3rd of that chord, is the 6 of my A, right, my A blues. If I'm in my A blues, right, the natural 6 is the 7th fret of that B string. It's also going to happen here on the 4th fret of my D string. All right, but I really like it here just because we can really see it in that version of my D7. If I do play my D7 down here, I can see it right there, my major 3rd, right? So again, playing off this idea of a minor to major, when I get to that 4 chord, I can play this 6th fret and slide into the 7th fret, or my flat 3, my minor 3rd, into my natural 3rd of that 4 chord, right? And what's really cool is if I go back to the minor pentatonic there, right there at the end, is if I slide in to that, right, flat 3 to natural 3 of my 4 chord, or flat 6 to natural 6, right, according to A, right? And then I just play my root, flat 3 root in my A blues. That actually outlines D7. That's my 3, 5, flat 7 of my 4 chord. So a really cool way, right, to add that in and spice things up a little bit. If we are adding that natural 6 in there, right, that breaks out of the A blues scale, and we're sort of touching on Dorian, which would modally be correct, right? If I played an A Dorian, right, but really used that that D as my root note, right? Modally, that's what this would look like in A. Having that natural 6 also means I can add this 7th fret there on my bottom, my 9 or my 2 there. Right? And that gives me a little bit more of a major blues sound. Right? So just a couple of options that you can throw in. But that specifically 7th fret of the B, or if I were to even do it, right? If I wanted to do, let's do a nice easy lick there. If I start here, this will be a really cool lick because I'm going to start on the 4, so my root note when I get to that 4 chord, and I'm just going to go down my pentatonic, right? And then I'm actually going to go down and slide into that 6 or the major third of that 4 chord, and then I can resolve it, right? So a nice little lick to add in there to really bring that 4 chord out to life. Cool. All right. If you have any ways that you sort of break out of that minor pentatonic sound and spice up your guitar solos, I would love to hear them. If you want to hit the comment section and really let me know what you guys are doing. The third trick here is going to be for the 5 chord. When I get to that 5 chord, now it's the same thing. I can aim for the 3rd of that 5 chord and I can slide into it. What's really cool is that 8th fret of my B string is my flat 7, just in my blues. I can slide into the natural 7, which is a 3rd of that 5 chord. Okay, and then if I want to resolve it back to the 1. So that is my open option. I can also do it down here just because if I'm on my root note here, that's going to be my natural 7, right? A half step away from my root. And I can sort of slide into it. And that's my 5 right there. 5th fret of my B string, right? So if I'm adding that for that 5 chord, that breaks out of the blues, we really get into playing over the chord changes, playing over that 5. Also, the 7th fret of that E string is the 5 of that chord as well. So that's in there and really breaks out. So if I end on that note, that also can bring that 5 chord to life. That is a much safer choice, okay? Just because when I'm playing over my 1 chord, I have my flat 7, right? When I play over my 4 chord, I also have a flat 7, right? That would be the 4 of that 4 chord, but it is in that if I'm playing modally, right? When I get to that 5 chord, that flat 7, right, in my A is the natural 7 now. So really targeting that note is going to sound, is really going to bring that chord change out, and it's really going to shock the ear. So sometimes if I don't want to be that shocking, and you can mess with both, I'll just go for the 7th fret of that bottom string, or the 9, a whole step away from my root note, right, which I can see right there. If I go, my root note is the 7th fret of the D, I can slide it up to the 9th fret. I can even see it in the chord. It's where my 3rd finger is for that chord, right? Sometimes I'll go there. What is really cool too is if whatever it is that I'm doing for that 4 chord, if I just bring it up a whole step, right, it works for that 5 chord, just because that 4 chord and the 5 chord are a whole step apart. So those are the tricks that I use. And then the last one that will really bring, it's kind of a double, that'll really bring out your playing and have some people that know what they're talking about sort of say, ooh, this guy can play. This guy knows some stuff. Is when you get to that 5 chord, like we were saying, that 3rd of the chord where your pinky sort of lines up, right? That 9th fret of the B string, the natural 7 in the key of A. If you're playing that, but you're also going to be going back to, right, this sort of bluesy sound, right? If I'm in A, I have that natural 7, then that's my root note, my A, the 10th fret. And then I have my, right, we were sort of adding that 2 in there, the 9 or the 2, the 7th fret of that bottom string for that 5 chord. But then I want to add my flat 3, right, because I'm still in A blues, so I still want that to be a flat 3. What I end up having here, right, is a natural 7, a natural 6, a natural 7, my root note, a 2, and a flat 3 over that 5 chord. What that really is now what you're sort of playing is a dominant flat 13, I should say. Dominant flat 13, which is the 5th mode of melodic minor. It's like playing a melodic minor in A, but you're really focused on right, you're sort of blending that in with your blues, right? So if I were to play that here, I have my 5, like 9th fret of the G, and then my 6, my 7 of the B, my natural 7, my 9th fret of the B, and then my root note, my 10th fret of the B. So now it's 9G, 7, 9, 10, and then 7, 8, 10. That'll be my scale. Right, and that's just giving me a melodic minor sound in A, but we're focusing on that E7, right? Really cool sound. If you put that in there, somebody might say, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about, right? You get up to that 5 chord. And then lastly, over that 5 chord as well, is if I take this 5th fret, my B string, and I play in my pentatonic, my 5, 8, and then on my bottom string, my bottom E, I'm gonna go 5, 6, 7. This happens a little bit. Stevie uses this a lot, or Stevie Ray Vaughan, which is really cool. And he actually doesn't use it solely over the 5 chord, which is really, really cool. Because some other people that will touch on this almost like Phrygian dominant kind of a sound, because it has that flat 9. They'll only do it over the 5 chord, and that's what I'm going to show you. But Stevie does it in a little bit more of an adventurous way, which is really cool. But if I get to that 5 chord and I have my 5th fret of my B and my 8th fret, that's right out of the pentatonic, right? It's right out of my pentatonic. What's really cool is that is according to my E7, my 5 chord, that is my 1, my flat 3, and then I have my 4, sharp 4, and 5 over my 5 chord. So that's my blues scale. Right, B string, 5, 8, E string, 5, 6, 7. And that's a really cool lick as well to throw over that 5 chord, right? That and your sort of altered dominant melodic minor, or dominant flat 6 or dominant flat 13. So those tricks, take them, go back through this video and really get those licks down, right? And figure out how to use them. Just showing you the theory behind them and how to attack them, okay? Just adding them at the end of a lick, right? Or in the middle of a lick is really, really great. And it's gonna bring out your blues solos like crazy, I promise. If you like this video, I would love, again, for you to hit subscribe, the notification bell, so you can get updates on when I update my YouTube page and add more videos to help you with your guitar playing. And if you're an intermediate guitar player stuck in that really sort of boring running up and down the minor pentatonic plateau that we all get into, and you want to bridge the gap between your creative ideas and what you were able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent, comment pro below and we can get started.